When the cameras started rolling that afternoon in Atlanta, no one expected things to explode like this. What began as a casual shoot turned into one of the most explosive confrontations love and hip-hop Atlanta has ever seen. Kirk Frost, usually calm, usually calculated, lost control. And the target of his rage wasn't the media, the rumors, or even the blogs. It was Rasheeda, his wife, his longtime partner, and the woman who stood by him through every scandal. Until now, the tension had been building for weeks. Whispers were spreading through the cast about Kendra, Jock's wife, and her alleged private conversations with Kirk. It started with a rumor, whispered over drinks at Spice's album party. Then came the screenshots, messages, late-night FaceTimes, and what looked like a hotel meet. Rasheeda brushed it off at first, refusing to believe Kirk was, once again, tangled in drama. But when those screenshots made their way to the set group chat, all hell broke loose. Witnesses say the moment Rasheeda asked Kirk about it on camera, his entire demeanor changed. He slammed his phone on the table and said, "I'm tired of you believing everybody else before me." But Rasheeda wasn't backing down this time. She snapped right back. "Then stop giving me reasons not to trust you." That's when Jock, trying to defend his wife, Kendra, stepped in. "Yo, don't drag my wife into your mess," he shouted. And just like that, the argument exploded into chaos. Kirk and Jock squared up. Rasheeda was yelling, Kendra stormed out, and security rushed the scene before fists flew. But here's the twist. According to a crew member who leaked what really happened, what you saw on TV was nothing compared to what went down once the cameras stopped. Because this fight, it didn't end that day. It started a war that ripped through friendships, marriages, and the entire ATL cast. Stay tuned, because what started as a rumor about Kendra might just expose every secret the Frosts have tried to bury. Atlanta's air has always carried that dangerous mix of glitter and gasoline one spark, and everything catches fire. For years, love and hip-hop, Atlanta has thrived on that chaos, eating off the tension between loyalty, ego, and the constant drumbeat of fame. But this time, it wasn't just another storyline. This was real, raw, a breaking point years in the making. To understand why Kirk Frost's explosion hit so hard, you have to rewind to the quiet fracture lines that had been forming beneath his picture-perfect marriage to Rasheeda Frost. From the outside, they were the ultimate power couple, business partners, reality stars, survivors of public scandal. The two of them built an empire after the Jasmine Washington drama nearly destroyed them. Rasheeda's boutique, Kirk's Frost Bistro, the music, the brand, all rebuilt brick by painful brick. But what fans didn't know was that the Frost empire was cracking again. It started small, as it always does, Rasheeda noticing Kirk working late more often. The late-night business calls, the quick text replies, followed by hours of silence. When she asked, he said it was about the restaurant's expansion. But then came the whispers, the ones Rasheeda had prayed she'd never hear again. Whispers about Kirk hanging out with someone he shouldn't. This time, not a stranger, not a random fan or one-night slip-up. This time, the rumors pointed to someone within the circle, Kendra Robinson, young Jock's wife. Now, if you know the ATL cast, know that's the one line no one's supposed to cross. Friends, spouses, and for months, no one took the rumor seriously. It was too wild, too far-fetched. Kendra, the straight-laced, no-nonsense lawyer, getting caught up with Kirk Frost, of all people. No one believed it. Until one screenshot started making rounds. The message thread wasn't explicit, but it was enough to raise eyebrows. "Appreciate you keeping it real with me," read one message allegedly from Kirk's number, followed by a heart emoji. The reply, supposedly from Kendra, said, "You know, I got you. Can't trust everyone in this circle." Those two lines ignited a firestorm. Who were they talking about? Why was Kendra saying that to him? And what did Kirk mean by keeping it real? When Spice hosted her industry mixer a week later, the tension between Rasheeda and Kendra was thick enough to slice. Witnesses said Rasheeda gave her a cold nod and kept it moving. No hugs, no smiles. Just polite distance. Jock tried to smooth things over, laughing it off, saying, "Man, people love to stir the pot." But Rasheeda wasn't laughing. Not this time. And then, a few days later, a new layer hit the rumor mill. A video clip. The footage was grainy, taken outside a Midtown lounge. But it showed Kirk stepping out of a black SUV and Kendra stepping out seconds later, adjusting her jacket. They weren't holding hands. They weren't touching. But they were together. And in Atlanta's gossip ecosystem, that was enough to light the match. Rasheeda found out while filming a confessional. According to production leaks, she froze mid-sentence when the producer's assistant whispered in her ear. She didn't even finish the segment. She walked off set, grabbed her phone, and disappeared for 3 hours. When she came back, the cameras were still rolling. Her face was calm, but her eyes were storming. "If I find out he's lying to me again," she said quietly, "I'm done pretending." There was that line, the coldness, the finality that told everyone Rasheeda had reached her breaking point. Meanwhile, Kendra was playing defense. She denied everything, saying she and Kirk were discussing a business investment, something about a potential legal workshop for Frost Bistro's expansion. Jock backed her up. "Man, y'all doing too much," he told the cameras. "Kendra, don't even like Kirk like that. This is clickbait energy." But behind the scenes, producers knew this was gold. The tension between the couples was too real to ignore. So they scheduled a cast dinner, everyone in one room, to clear the air. It was supposed to be civil.com/grownup. Of course, it was anything but. The setup was classic love and hip-hop. Long table, bright lights, too much wine, and unresolved anger bubbling beneath the surface. Rasheeda showed up last, in silence. Kirk sat across from her, trying to meet her eyes, but she didn't flinch. Kendra sat next to Jock, who was cracking nervous jokes to fill the awkward silence. Producers started with small talk, how everyone's been, new projects, etc. But it took exactly 10 minutes before Rasheeda broke the peace. She turned to Kirk, voice steady but ice cold. "So when were you going to tell me about your little business meeting with Kendra?" The room went dead silent. Kendra blinked, confused or pretending to be. "Excuse me." "You heard me," Rasheeda said. "Because I got people sending me videos, DMIs, screenshots, stuff that don't look like no business meeting to me." Kirk shifted in his chair, jaw tight. "You really doing this in front of everybody?" "Doing what?" She snapped back. "Asking you why you can't stay loyal." That's when Jock jumped in. "Yo, chill with all that. You're not going to sit here and talk about my wife like she before he could finish." Kirk slammed his palm on the table. "Nah, bro, don't start. I'm tired of everybody acting like I'm some villain. You don't know what's really going on behind closed doors?" The sound echoed through the room. Rasheeda flinched, Spice's eyes widened, and production scrambled to control the chaos. "Then enlighten us." Rasheeda shouted back, "Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you dragging me through the same mess unknowingly this time. You brought someone else's wife into it." The argument spiraled. Jock stood up, leaning over the table. "Man, watch your tone when you're talking about my wife." Kirk stood too, furious. "Then tell your wife to stop texting mine's husband." Security stepped in before things got physical, but the damage was done. Everyone in that room knew there was no coming back from this moment by the time filming wrapped that night. Rasheeda and Kirk weren't speaking. Jock and Kendra left early, furious, with cameras trailing them into the parking lot. Spice, ever the commentator, looked directly into her confessional camera and said, "This season, not about love anymore. This season, about survival." And she was right, because after that dinner, the Frost marriage wasn't just in trouble, was the center of Atlanta's biggest reality scandal since the Jasmine saga. The crew had captured something raw, something real, and the city could feel it in the air. This wasn't over. The next time Rasheeda and Kirk saw each other, wouldn't be for dinner. It would be for War. When Love and Hip Hop Atlanta picked up filming the next week. The cast knew the dinner blow-up had changed everything. Nothing felt the same. The production trailer buzzed with nervous energy crew members whispering. Producers pacing, security doubling up just in case the night turned violent again. The Frosts had always been unpredictable, but this time it felt dangerous. Rumor had it, Rasheeda and Kirk hadn't spoken since that night. They were living in the same house, but on opposite sides of Rasheeda, staying in the guest room. Kirk barely home except to grab clothes and leave. The silence between them was worse than a fight. It was a Cold War with no ceasefire in sight, and then another bomb dropped, a well-known Atlanta. Gossip blogger posted a story with the headline, "Exclusive, Kendra and Kirk's midnight meet. Is this the real reason Rasheeda snapped?" Within hours, hashtags like hashtag Kirk and Kendra and hashtag Frostgate were trending. Fans called Kirk Atlanta's most unfaithful man and flooded Kendra's page with comments like, "Sis, the lawyer shouldn't be defending a man like that. And you gonna risk your whole marriage for Kirk Frost? Be serious." Kendra immediately went live to set the record straight. Dressed in her office clothes, she looked exhausted, defensive, and angry. "Let me tell y'all something," she said, voice sharp. "That picture y'all keep reposting. That was a meeting about property investment. We're grown professionals. Ain't nobody sneaking around. I'm tired of y'all turning business into gossip." But the damage was done. Jock saw the live, slammed his phone on the counter, and muttered, "If it's business, why the hell was it midnight?" According to production leaks, Jock showed up at Kirk's house the next morning. Off-camera and demanded answers. The two men argued for nearly an hour. One source claimed Jock yelled, "You making my wife look crazy." While Kirk fired back, "I didn't make her do nothing. Maybe control your house before you come to mine." When producers heard about it, they scrambled to get both couples on camera again, this time in separate interviews. In her confessional, Rasheeda's eyes were bloodshot, her voice low. "You know what hurts the most?" Kay said. "It's not even about him cheating against, about the disrespect. I've been humiliated enough on this show. I told him if it ever happened again, I'd walk. And maybe this time I mean it." Across town, Kirk sat in his own confessional, shaking his head. "People don't know what it's like being under a microscope. Every move I make, they twist it. I'm trying to do better. But it's like, no matter what I do, she don't believe me. I'm tired, man. I'm tired of being painted as the bad guy." But before that episode could even air, another twist hit production like a lightning bolt. The leaked audio, late one Friday night. An anonymous Instagram account posted a short clip labeled "Proof Kendra Lied." The voice in the audio was unmistakably Kendra's. She was talking to another woman, her tone hushed but angry. "I told him we shouldn't have met up that late," she said. Now Rasheeda's calling around asking questions. "Jock, can't find out. I can't deal with this again." The audio spread faster than wildfire. Bloggers dissected it, fans looped it, and within hours, Kendra deactivated her account. Jock's did too. Rasheeda didn't need confirmation anymore. She had it. And when she showed up to film her next scene, the quiet fury in her eyes said it all. Production arranged what they called a resolution sit-down. But everyone knew it was a trap. The setup, a sleek black lounge downtown, dim lights, champagne on ice. All the main players at the table, Rasheeda, Kirk, Jock, and Kendra with Spice and Carly Red watching from the sidelines. The cameras were rolling before anyone spoke. Rasheeda's tone was ice. "So, we doing midnight meetings now? You think I'm stupid, Kirk?" Kirk rubbed his temples, muttering, "Here we go again." "No, not here we go again," she snapped. "Here you go again. You and your lies, your little excuses. It's business, it's innocent. You said that before. Every time I forgive you, you give me another reason to regret it." Kendra jumped in defensively. "Rasheeda, you got it all wrong. This ain't got nothing to do with disrespect." Kirk asked for legal advice on one of his contracts. Legal advice. Rasheeda interrupted, her voice rising. At 12:30 in the morning? You think I'm dumb? You think I ain't seen this play out before? Jock leaned forward, trying to defuse the situation. "Look, can we just all take a breath before it gets out of?" But Kirk cut him off. Nah, man, let her talk. She want to humiliate me on camera again? Let her do it. That's all this is about anyway. Her playing victim for views. Rasheeda's eyes widened. Oh, I'm the problem now. You've been lying to me, embarrassing me, and now I'm the villain. Spice gasped from the corner, whispering to Carly. He'd gone too far now. Me tell ya. Jock slammed his hand on the table. Bro, you talking reckless about your wife? Chill before I lose it. Kirk stood, pointing at Jock. Don't tell me how to talk in my marriage, man. Worry about your own wife's, since she the one out here meeting up in the dark. Kendra shot up from her seat. Don't you dare talk to him like that. You dragged me into this mess before she could finish. Rasheeda threw her napkin across the table and shouted, both of y'all lying. Security swarmed instantly. Chairs scraped, producers yelled cut, but no one was calming down. Jock lunged toward Kirk, pointing in his face, yelling, You gone, stop disrespecting my household, brr. Kirk pushed him back, and that's when Spice screamed, Lord Jesus, somebody gone fight tonight? The footage was explosive raw, unfiltered, and way too real. VH1 executives reportedly halted production for 3 days after the incident, citing safety concerns. When they returned, Rasheeda was gone. She refused to film until producers agreed to let her tell her side without interruption. That's when she did her solo interview, the one fans later called the calm before the storm, sitting in a black silk blouse. Makeup flawless, but eyes cold. She said quietly, You can only rebuild something so many times before you realize it's not meant to stand. I love him, but love don't mean letting someone keep breaking you. Maybe this is the end of Frost and Rasheeda. Maybe it's just the beginning of Rasheeda. It was one of the most watched confessionals in LHHATL history. But what viewers didn't know was that a new twist was already brewing behind the scenes. Because 3 days after Rasheeda's interview aired, another anonymous leak dropped. This time, it wasn't about Kirk or Kendra. It was about Jock. A fan account posted screenshots of alleged text messages between Jock and a mystery number saved as Producer M. The messages suggested that Jock had been feeding production insider info about Kirk and Kendra's situation to manipulate how the storyline was. Edited. In one message, the sender wrote, We need drama this season. Don't hold back. Jock allegedly replied, Don't worry, I'll light the match. The revelation shocked fans. Was Jock stirring the pot all along? Had he set up Kirk to look guilty so he and Kendra could stay relevant? The cast was blindsided. Kendra was furious. Spice called him the real instigator. And even Rasheeda, heartbroken, but sharper than ever, posted a cryptic Instagram story. Sometimes the loudest defender got the most to hide. This was the perfect first twist. The real betrayal wasn't just between spouses, was between friends. And for Kirk Frost. That realization hit harder than any fight ever could. Because while everyone was calling him a liar, it turned out someone else had been pulling the strings behind the scenes the entire time. But that was just the first twist. The next one. It would make even this betrayal look like child's play. The fallout from the Frost. Robinson confrontations spread through Atlanta like wildfire. Producers tried to contain it, but it was too late. The drama had already escaped the studio and hit the streets. Blogs, gossip pages, and YouTube channels began dissecting every angle of the story. #Frostgate wasn't just trending, it was dominating headlines. And deep down, Rasheeda knew this wasn't over. 2 days after the sit-down dinner, she was sitting inside her boutique, pressed, sipping an iced coffee when her phone buzzed. The message came from an anonymous number. It said, You think you know the truth. Ask him about the Vegas trip. Rasheeda froze. Her heartbeat quickened. She knew exactly which trip the message referred to, the one Kirk had taken a few months earlier, supposedly for a restaurant investor meeting. He'd flown to Vegas with 2 business partners. At least, that's what he said. She hadn't questioned it back then, but now. Every memory, every excuse. Every unexplained late night flashed through her mind like a reel of lies. She texted back immediately, Who is this? No reply. Minutes later, another message appeared. this time with a link, a Dropbox folder. The title, Frost Vegas Footage.mp4. Double quotes Rasheeda hesitated, her finger hovering over the link. Part of her didn't want to know, but curiosity and anger won out. She clicked. The video opened to a dimly lit hotel room. The camera angle was low, like it had been recorded from a table, and there was Kirk, wearing the same gold chain he always wore, laughing and holding a drink. Off camera, a woman's voice teased, "You know, Rasheeda gon' kill you if she see this." Kirk's voice responded, half drunken, half playful, "She don't need to know about everything that happens in Vegas." Then, the woman stepped into frame. It wasn't Kendra. It was a production assistant, someone who'd worked on Love and Hip Hop for years. Someone both Rasheeda and Kendra knew. Rasheeda's hand shook. Her chest tightened. The betrayal wasn't just personal, it was professional, public, layered in humiliation. Her husband wasn't just careless, he was reckless. And now, evidence of his infidelity was sitting in a digital file waiting to destroy everything. She didn't even finish watching. She grabbed her bag, locked up the boutique, and drove straight to the Frost Bistro, where she knew Kirk would be reviewing payroll with his manager. Security cameras caught her walking in like a storm. Her heels hit the floor in rapid-fire clicks. Her voice, sharp as glass, echoed through the restaurant. "Who's the girl in the Vegas video, Kirk?" Customers turned. Staff froze. Kirk looked up from his laptop, confused until he saw the fury in her eyes. "Rasheeda, what are you talking about?" "Don't play dumb with me," she snapped, throwing her phone on the table. "It's right there. The video. You and that girl, you said you were on a business trip." "You're still lying. You said you were on a business trip." Kirk went pale. He didn't deny it fast enough. And that hesitation told Rasheeda everything she needed to know. The argument that followed could have shattered glass. Staff tried to leave quietly, but the shouting drew attention. Someone in the corner pulled out a phone and started recording. Within an hour, clips from their fight hit social media under the caption, "Rasheeda confronts Kirk in public over new cheating video." But that wasn't even the biggest twist. As the footage spread, a voice note began circulating online, allegedly from the same anonymous source who leaked the Vegas clip. The voice claimed that Kirk wasn't the only one caught doing dirt. According to this mysterious insider, someone else in the cast had been pulling strings to make sure Rasheeda found out exactly when and how to humiliate Kirk. That person? Young JOC. The claim was shocking, but it lined up with everything Rasheeda had started to suspect. The texts, the timing, the accidental leaks, they were too coordinated. It was almost like someone wanted to make sure this scandal didn't stay private. When production resumed filming, Jock was in the hot seat. Sitting across from Carly, Red, and Spice, he tried to play it cool. "Man, people love to drag my name," he said, smirking. "I ain't got time for that messy energy." Carly wasn't buying it. "So it's just coincidence that the leak started right after you and Kirk got into it?" "Exactly," he shot back. "Coincidence?" But Spice leaned forward, raising an eyebrow. "So why the anonymous tipster using your voice in the background of that Vegas video?" The room went silent. Jock's smirk vanished. "What?" Spice pulled out her phone and hit play. The extended version of the Vegas clip had surfaced, this one longer than the one Rasheeda saw. After the initial laughter, Kirk was heard saying, "Jock told me to loosen up. Said I needed a stress break." The crowd in the studio gasped. Jock leaned back, rubbing his face, whispering, "Oh, hell no." The confession was damning. Not only had Jock encouraged the Vegas trip, but now it sounded like he'd known exactly what Kirk was doing. The betrayal wasn't just between friends anymore, was entangled in manipulation, rivalry, and power moves. By the time Rasheeda heard about the new footage, she was done playing quiet. She went live on Instagram, her tone icy but composed. "I'm tired of men in this circle thinking they can play with women's lives for clout," she said. "Keep my name out your storylines, because the truth coming out piece by piece." Her live hit over 800,000 views in 2 hours. Comments flooded in. Fans were divided, some defending Rasheeda as the queen who deserved better. others accusing her of faking the outrage for ratings. But no matter what anyone believed, the scandal had exploded beyond repair. And then came the email leak. A blogger posted screenshots allegedly showing email exchanges between Jock, a producer, and a media outlet discussing timed releases of footage from the Frost storyline. The messages suggested Jock was feeding material to the press to stir controversy and ensure his subplot got maximum airtime. One subject line read, "Drop this before Rasheeda's live." The revelation broke the internet. Jock trended for days. Memes flooded Twitter. Kendra deactivated her accounts again. Kirk stayed silent. And Rasheeda finally seemed to gain the upper hand. But just when it looked like the tables had turned, another voice entered the conversation, one no one expected. Tasha K., the blogger turned media personality, released a new bombshell episode, claiming she had exclusive receipts, proving that the Vegas leak was not from Jock but from someone inside Rasheeda's own camp. She played an audio clip of a woman's voice, allegedly one of Rasheeda's stylists, saying, "She told me to hold the video until after the dinner. Said she wanted him embarrassed." Fans went feral. Was Rasheeda playing the victim while orchestrating the downfall? Had she engineered the leak to get revenge for years of humiliation? When asked by TMZ if she was behind it, Rasheeda laughed coldly. "If I wanted to end him, I wouldn't need a video to do it." But the damage was already done. The Frost marriage wasn't just in crisis, it was an empire collapsing in real time, with every betrayal caught on camera. And the people once closest to them, Jock, Kendra, even producers, were now part of the wreckage. By the end of that week, VH1 teased the mid-season trailer. The screen flashed images of Rasheeda crying, Kirk storming out of frame, Jock punching a wall, Spice yelling, "This whole thing wicked." And then the final line from Rasheeda herself. "If you think the truth came out already, you haven't heard the confession yet." The music cut. The screen faded to black dot and the world lost its mind. Because if this was only the middle of the season, everyone knew whatever confession she was talking about was going to shake Atlanta to its core. The question wasn't whether the truth would come out, it was who would survive it. The minute the mid-season trailer dropped, Atlanta went into meltdown mode. Every blog, fan page, and gossip account lit up with theories. It wasn't just love and hip-hop fans anymore, it was the entire hip-hop industry. YouTubers, influencers, and even a few rappers weighing in. Because this wasn't just reality TV anymore. This was real-life scandal, playing out frame by frame in public. Twitter was the first to explode. Within minutes, hashtags like #team, RASHEED, #Kirk confession, and #JOC did it shot to the top of the trending list. The fan base divided fast. On one side were those who believed Rasheeda had been a long-suffering queen finally fighting back after years of disrespect. On the other side were those who accused her of being just as manipulative as the men she called out. Rasheeda always crying victim. One tweet read, "But sis been playing chess, not checkers." Another fired back, "Nah, she'd been loyal for years. Kirk pushed her too far. Y'all act like she don't got a right to snap." Within 24 hours, over 50 YouTube commentary channels had dropped breakdowns of the latest drama. The thumbnails were wild red circles, arrows, and screenshots of Rasheeda's furious face. Titles like "Rasheeda finally snaps after Kirk's Vegas secret" and "The Frost Empire crumbles live on camera" racked up hundreds of thousands of views. But what really poured gasoline on the fire was when Spice went live on Instagram the next night. "Me tell Anu from longtime Atlanta full of snakes," she said, pacing her hotel room in a blue robe. "Dem all pretending to be family, but everybody stabbing each other in the back for screen time. And me done talk." The comment section exploded. Some fans begged her to spill names. Others accused her of fanning the flames. But Spice wasn't finished. She smiled at the camera and added, "Me got proof of who send out dat Vegas video. Me just waiting for the right time to drop it." That one line Waiting for the right time sent shockwaves across every social platform. Who was she talking about? Was it Jock, Rasheeda? Someone from production? Theories flew so fast that by midnight, Spice Got Receipts was trending worldwide. Meanwhile, VH1 stayed quiet. No official statement, no press release, just silence, and that silence drove everyone crazier. Fans began to suspect that the network itself was orchestrating some of the chaos behind the scenes to boost ratings. One viral TikTok with 1.5 million views claimed the production team had deliberately leaked the Vegas clip to fuel the storyline. "This ain't real life, it's marketing," the creator said. "They're turning pain into promotion." But while the internet treated it like entertainment, the people inside Atlanta's scene were genuinely shaken. Kendra Robinson, who had been silent for weeks, finally resurfaced with a short statement on her IG story. "I'm not entertaining lies. My marriage is solid. The rest of y'all need hobbies." But fans didn't buy it. Her tone felt defensive. Comments like "you sound guilty," and "if it was solid," wouldn't need to say it flooded her DMs. Young Jock, on the other hand, tried to laugh it off during his morning radio show. "Man, this whole situation got everybody acting like detectives," he said on air. "I ain't leaking nothing. I'm too busy getting these checks." But listeners noticed something he never directly denied that he'd known about. Kirk's Vegas trip before Rasheeda found out. That one omission fueled even more speculation. Then came Carly Red, ever the opportunist. She posted a dramatic black and white photo of herself holding a phone, captioned, "If I showed y'all what's really in my camera roll, the whole city would shut down." Fans immediately assumed she was teasing unseen footage from the frost fight. Within an hour, blogs ran with headlines like "Carly has footage that could end Kirk and Rasheeda's marriage." But not everyone was enjoying the chaos. A few castmates, Sierra Gates, Erica Dixon, and Bambi, publicly called for peace. Sierra tweeted, "This ATL drama getting too deep. Sometimes the cameras go off, but the pain stays on." Erica posted a story that read, "Protect your peace. Everything ain't worth clout." Even Love and Hip Hop executive Mona Scott Young was reportedly concerned. Leaked emails between producers hinted that she'd warned the cast to tone it down before someone gets hurt. But at the same time, production sources said she was secretly thrilled. At the ratings, Spike's the latest episode had doubled its viewership overnight. Then, the unthinkable happened. A tabloid dropped an exclusive that claimed to have intercepted an unreleased portion of Rasheeda's next confessional. In the leaked transcript, she allegedly said, "Everybody wants to talk about Kirk's betrayal, but nobody's ready for mine. Y'all think you know me? You don't. Y'all think you know me? You don't." The leak sent the internet into full-blown hysteria. Was Rasheeda admitting something? A revenge affair? A secret deal with producers? Fans went into overdrive, dissecting every possibility. Podcasters held emergency live sessions. One popular gossip host, Tasha Talks Tea, claimed she had inside sources confirming Rasheeda's next episode would flip the entire narrative. She teased, "Kirk ain't the only one who had something to hide." As tension mounted, brands began distancing themselves from the Frosts. A local fashion sponsor quietly pulled out of Rasheeda's upcoming collab event. A club canceled Kirk's planned hosting appearance, citing security concerns. Even Frost Bistro's Yelp reviews turned brutal overnight, filled with fake one-star posts accusing him of feeding lies with every plate. But the drama didn't stop there. 2 days before the next episode's release, Jock's radio show got interrupted, live on air by a caller who claimed to have proof that Rasheeda's revenge went too far. The caller said she had a recording of Rasheeda meeting privately with a VH1 producer weeks before the dinner fight, discussing how to time the leak for maximum effect. Jock froze mid-sentence. His co-hosts went silent. The call cut off before they could trace it. Clips of the incident flooded TikTok. Fans started calling it the Atlanta wiretap. Every layer of the scandal seemed to reveal another betrayal. Friends were enemies. Victims were masterminds. And viewers couldn't look away. By the time the next episode dropped, it shattered streaming records. But the episode's ending only deepened the mystery. After 45 minutes of fights, tears, and confrontations, the screen faded to black, and a single text appeared. Next week, the confession. The final shot showed Rasheeda in a dark interview room, eyes glistening, whispering, "I wasn't the only one with something to lose." The internet went nuclear. Twitter threads popped up, analyzing her expression, her tone, the color of her outfit. Every detail became evidence. Fans created countdowns for the next episode. Even mainstream outlets like Bet and Shade Room picked it up. One fan comment summed it up perfectly. "This ain't love and hip-hop no more. This is Atlanta, Civil War." And they were right. Because after months of whispers, lies, and broken friendships, the truth was finally about to surface. Only problem: nobody knew whose truth it would be. The night of the confession episode premiere felt like the Super Bowl of Atlanta reality TV. Every bar, club, and watch party across the city was tuned in. The Frost Beast, ironically, Kirk's own restaurant, was packed wall-to-wall with fans, reporters, and even cast members, all waiting to see what Rasheeda was finally going to reveal. The air was thick with tension, gossip, and the low hum of camera crews ready to catch every reaction. When the episode opened, it didn't waste a second. The scene faded in with Rasheeda sitting alone in her confessional room. No glam team. No flashy outfit, just her, raw and stripped down. Her eyes were red, her voice soft but steady. "Everybody think they know my story," she began. "But sometimes the person who gets hurt the most ain't the one who's innocent." A dramatic pause. Then she dropped it. "I leaked the video." Gasps erupted in the Frost Bistro. Fans screamed. Social media immediately crashed under the weight of shocked posts. Twitter went into meltdown mode. Memes were born within seconds. Hashtag Rasheeda Confess started trending before the commercial break even hit. But what she said next turned the entire narrative upside down. "I didn't do it out of spite," she continued, tears forming. "I did it because Kirk kept making me feel crazy, like I was imagining things, like I was the problem. So yeah, when that footage came to me, I used it. I needed him to feel what I've been feeling all these years." She wiped her eyes and stared straight into the camera. Was it right? No, but was it real? Yeah. It wasn't just a confession, it was a reckoning. Backstage, Kirk sat frozen in the green room, watching it unfold. He looked stunned, almost hollow. The producers captured every flicker of emotion, hurt, disbelief, and finally something like resignation. He didn't yell, didn't storm off. He just sat there, whispering under his breath. "I knew it. I knew she had it in her." The camera cut to Jock and Kendra's reactions next. Kendra looked uncomfortable, eyes darting to Jock, who just nodded silently as if to say, "This explains everything." Spice and Carly were whispering in the background, trying to contain their shock. And just when everyone thought it couldn't get crazier, there was one last twist. Rasheeda leaned forward in her chair and dropped a new bomb. "But what y'all don't know," she said quietly, "is I wasn't the only one who leaked something." The producers cut to a previously unseen clip-grainy security footage from the night of the infamous dinner fight. It showed Jock sneaking out of the restaurant, phone in hand, texting someone before the confrontation began. The text on screen read, "She's about to find out. Make sure the cameras catch everything." The room at Frost Bistro erupted. People were screaming, recording the TV screens, throwing their drinks in disbelief. Jock's phone started blowing up before the credits even rolled. Twitter exploded again. Hashtag Joke Exposed started trending alongside hashtag RASHEED, I confessed. Fans couldn't decide who was worst, the woman who leaked the scandal, or the man who set up the moment for ratings. This ain't love and hip-hop no more. It's love and lies. One user wrote, "So Rasheeda leaked the video, but Jock staged the fight. They both dirty." Another said, This show got more plot twists than power. Someone else tweeted, "The final scene cut to Rasheeda walking out of the studio and into the Atlanta night. The city lights reflecting off her tears. Her voiceover played one final line before the screen faded to black. Everybody wants the truth until it's their turn to tell it." The audience gasped one last time. The credits rolled. And then silence, but it didn't last. Within an hour, the cast started posting cryptic messages online. Jock tweeted, "Don't believe everything edited for TV," while Rasheeda posted a black screen with the caption, "Freedom feels heavy sometimes." Kirk, however, broke his silence in a way no one saw coming. He went live. In the live, his voice was calm but cold. "So yeah, y'all heard her," he said. "She leaked it. She embarrassed me. But guess what? That's the same woman I still love." You don't survive 20 years in the game by being soft. You learn to play the game better. Then, in a moment that sent chills down viewers' spines, he looked dead into the camera and said, "But since we keeping it real, I got my own footage too." He smirked and ended the live. Fans lost their minds. The comment section exploded. What footage? Was it revenge? Proof of something bigger? The next morning, TMZ and the Shade Room both reported that Kirk had exclusive unseen material from the night of Rasheeda's confrontation, allegedly a clip showing her meeting privately with a producer before the fight. If true, it would confirm the rumors that Rasheeda had orchestrated her meltdown for maximum TV exposure. VH1 refused to comment. Only teasing. The story isn't over. The Frosts return for the season finale next month. And just like that, Atlanta was back in chaos. The cast divided instantly. Spice declared, "Me done with dem Frost people." Carly hinted she'd seen Kirk's footage but wouldn't say what was in it. Kendra posted a single emoji of popcorn bucket Dodd by the end of the week. The Frost marriage had become national entertainment again, pulling in millions of views and reigniting the show's highest ratings in years. But behind the fame, behind the noise, one truth stood clear. No one in Atlanta was innocent anymore. And as the teaser for the finale promised, one last video will destroy everything. The screen faded. Out on those chilling words, fans were already bracing themselves. Because if Rasheeda's confession had flipped the story, Kirk's footage might just end it for good. So now, after everything we've seen, the confessions, the leaks, the betrayals, and the shocking twists, one question is echoing across Atlanta and beyond. Who's telling the truth? Because, let's be real, nothing in this city happens by accident. Every video, every anonymous source, every viral live, someone wanted it out there. Someone's playing the game on a level the rest of us can't even see yet. Was Rasheeda really a woman pushed past her breaking point, or a mastermind using revenge to rewrite the narrative? And what about Kirk? Is his calm reaction just guilt or strategy? Maybe that footage he teased isn't just payback. Maybe it's his insurance policy, his move in a much bigger war. And Jock, don't think he's out of the picture yet. We've seen enough from this crew to know that alliances in Atlanta shift like smoke. One minute, you're the hero. The next, you're the headline. But now, it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Rasheeda was justified in leaking the video? Or did she go too far and cross a line no marriage can survive? And if Kirk really does have his own footage, should he release it? Or will that just make things worse for everyone? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us whose side you're on and what you think is really coming next. And trust me, don't miss what's about to happen next week. Because if the rumors are true, Kirk's footage isn't just a response. It's the final strike. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single update. Because this story, it's just getting started. And in Atlanta, the drama never sleeps. It just reloads. Stay tuned, because when the next episode drops, somebody's truth is going to end up on camera. And this time, no one is walking away clean.